What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and some new pictures from the Diddy trial are out. The pictures that Diddy didn't want you to see, apparently, as well as some legal experts weighing in on what they think the state's chances are of getting conviction here. I actually think after 2 days of testimony, I think he's walking. I think he's walking with time served. Unless they are, a lot of people say over the first couple days of the trial, there's a lot of long witness testimony to establish, that he's bad. I don't think anyone denies. I certainly don't, that Diddy is a degenerate. That most of Hollywood is degenerate. Much of rap music is degenerate. I don't think anyone denies that he was into some sick stuff. But the real question is, was anybody else who was into it put there against their will? And as of right now, I'm not seeing that. All I'm seeing are people who participated in degenerate acts suddenly regretting them years later when perhaps it might be profitable to them. At no point did his ex-girlfriend, who literally was asking for dudes to use her mouth as a urinal, I'm not kidding, this is something that she was willingly participating in. She was a multimillionaire. She could have left at any time, never did. All these other people, these prostitutes that are getting brought up, they were paid. The worst crime I've seen the prosecution bring up against Diddy is that he hired prostitutes, which is a far cry from the life sentence that they say he's facing. Of course, James Comey's daughter is in charge of this, so I guess I can't be surprised that it's getting completely screwed up. But look at this. The picture Diddy did not want you to see, how the rapper posted and then deleted a snap after a wild night in Ibiza. As Diddy Combs remains in a legal fight, an image of his wild night with A-list celebrities in Ibiza, Spain, has resurfaced online 10 years after he tried to scrub it from the internet. The rapper, now accused of a string of depraved crimes, posted pictures of an August 1st, 2014 party to social media, but then swiftly deleted them, according to multiple reports at the time. Among the stars who attended, honoring fashion designer Ricardo Don't Care, including Diddy's then girlfriend Cassie Ventura, newlyweds Kanye West, Kim Kardashian, and also present was pop superstar Justin Bieber, a mere 20 years old at the time. Like, finally, we're getting some Hollywood connections. See, there's a lot of talk about these freak-off parties, right? Diddy's freak-offs. But all I've really seen is Diddy, participating in his own depraved parties. Not in, like, anything that involves any of these other Hollywood people who just happened to be hanging out with him at the time. Supermodels Kate Moss, who appeared bleary-eyed, Naomi Campbell, Kendall Jenner, Zac Efron, Jared Leto, Kris Jenner, Paris Hilton, in this picture. Doesn't look very good here, Kate Moss. She appears to be completely passed out. Bleary-eyed. I mean, she looks completely blacked out to me. Here's Kanye West, Naomi Campbell. I don't really know or care who any of these other devil-worshipping degens are. Here's, I think, Kate Moss. Daily Mail has reached out for comment from reps of Combs, Cassie West, Kardashian, and Moss. Among the assorted images circulating on social media in the wake of the gathering, Moss and Diddy and Cassie standing alongside a kneeling West who was flashing a peace sign. Yeah, I don't think there's any question that these people were hanging out, doing drugs, partying, banging each other. I don't know. Is any of that illegal? I mean, sure, the drugs are. But I'm starting to question a lot about what kind of case the state even has on this guy. I remain convinced that he is a plant, a government asset, whose sole purpose was to collect, humiliating evidence and compromise on other Hollywood celebrities, or that he became an asset when his ex-wife met her untimely death at 45 to the flu, which developed into pneumonia, which almost nobody dies of at that age, in particular when they have multi-million-dollar bank accounts to get the best healthcare on the planet. So they bring this heavily pregnant Cassie Ventura, tearfully giving a court the harrowing details of alleged incidents and deviant manipulation at the hands of Sean Diddy Combs. Again, to me, you're going to have a hard time convincing me that any of these people were not, participating in this stuff of their own free will. In particular, the prostitutes who openly admitted that they would have done that for free. Now, did he put his hands on this girl? Yeah, we know that much. We know that for a fact. Having escorts come, all this stuff. This testimony is largely meaningless if I'm on the jury, because I'm like, yo, you were there partying too. But let's listen to first Brianna Morello, her take on it, which I think is really good, and then a lawyer who's actually at the trial. Shout out to Good Logic. Maybe I'd like to have him on the show when he's free. Make sure you subscribe or follow down below. I'll have him on for an interview if I can get him on later this week. Here's Brianna Morello, former Fox News reporter, as well as now an independent journalist.
Today was day 2 of Sean Diddy Cohn's criminal trial, and folks, I'm getting a little worried about the prosecutors and all of this, because
me too.
They haven't really made a strong enough argument regarding the charges he's currently faced with. Before I get into that, let's talk about what happened today. Cassie, who is his longtime ex-girlfriend, she got up on that testimony stand and did an incredible job. At 8.5 months pregnant, she did an incredible job at speaking up on her behalf. Now, it's very, very obvious, and the defense isn't even arguing this. It's very, very obvious that Diddy's a creep, and it's very, very obvious that he was abusive. Again.
Right. This is what I'm saying. Like, yeah, but that's not what he's on trial for. That's the craziest thing. Like, that's not what he's on trial for.
During their opening statements, they said you're going to see things that are going to paint him out to be a monster. And that CNN footage that you guys saw of him assaulting Cassie, well, they're not denying that either. But folks, he's not facing assault charges. He's not facing blackmail charges. He's facing racketeering and sex trafficking charges.
Right.
So far, I haven't heard anything related to racketeering being made in that public courtroom. Haven't heard anything.
Me either.
In regards to sex trafficking, yes, it does look like he did pay sex workers to have sex with Cassie. But here's the key point. Were they transported?
Did he traffic them, or did he just hire them? Again, that is a crime, but I mean, that's not what he's even being charged with. That's the thing.
Or were they in the area? Well, I don't know, because they haven't really addressed that as of yet. So that's going to be a key point that we're going to want to hear from the prosecutors on. They've got some time still. Don't get me wrong. It's still very early, but I want to warn you all. Yes, he is abusive. Yes, what he did was egregious. Yes, is he into creepy things? Absolutely. The guy, I mean, she even talks about it, how he always wanted her soaked in baby oil. I can't even say it without one.
Yeah, the baby oil stuff is weird.
Puke. But is baby oil a crime? No, it's not. The prosecutors are going to have to ramp it up a little bit if they really want to drive this home. If they really want to get Diddy convicted, they need to prove that racketeering.
I mean, yeah, what racketeering and what trafficking? They have not even made a case for that at all. They have not made a case of it at all. Now, if they're going to do it today, we'll have to wait and see. But right now, it's not looking good.
Next few days, if they're actually looking for a conviction. If you're a fan of...
Let's look at Good Logic, which is there at the trial.
I'm heading into court for day 2 of the Diddy Trial, where I'm trying to provide you coverage that no one else on the planet is even trying to give you, which is giving you both legal perspective and analysis of what's going on and how each party here is faring so far. Opening statements, they say more than 50% of all jurors tend to decide how they're going to go before this first witness even is taking the stand. With that in mind, I polled around the room, and things look kind of difficult for the state at this point.
I agree.
Now, there are 5 charges in the case. The first charge is for racketeering. That carries a maximum of life imprisonment. And the next 2 are sexual trafficking, which convicted, Diddy would face a minimum of 15 years and a maximum of a life sentence. The problem for the state with these charges is that the women who were supposedly victims of Diddy were active participants, not simply in the performance of sexual acts for the pleasure of Diddy's viewing, but that they participated
numerous times,
in arranging, coordinating them, and even selecting their partners. So if the state is going to get a conviction here, they're going to have to convince a jury that they were taking all of those roles while at the same time being under his compulsion and coerced into taking those acts.
I don't think they're going to.
That's a difficult role for the state to take. It's a difficult sell, where the defense is going to be saying that they wanted to be around him, they loved him, they loved the power, they loved him individually, and his charismatic specter of Diddy that the defense was pointing out and is likely true. So that's a very difficult road for the state to get conviction in those areas.
That's what I agree. I mean, I agree. And by the way, he's a lawyer and he's there at the trial, but like, I've seen nothing that would even, I mean, the RICO case, like racketeering, how?
On the other hand, with respect to the 2 charges for transportation across state lines for purposes of prostitution, it practically felt in the opening statements like the defense was giving up on those. Explanation that we heard from Tenny Garagos, who was presenting opening statements, is, well, when people are spending their time, they expect to be compensated based on their time and based on their skill and experience. That's just the way the world works. Yeah, that's also prostitution. That's what that is also. That's not even, I'm not even sure what that is. I don't know how that's a defense of anything.
Right.
It seemed very perplexing, or perhaps they have nothing, or if they have something, they'll come up with it and share with us some thoughts and perspectives that they didn't bother sharing with us in the opening, although that would be highly unusual. So those last two charges have a potential maximum of 10 years imprisonment, and the early line odds, I would tell you, is that Diddy has very strong defenses with respect to the first 3 charges, which have potential life.
Yeah, and if you, it's at the following pro. That's his X handle for more recent updates. But like, I agree.
And he has very slim defenses with respect to those last 2 charges, which carry 10 years apiece. That's my early thoughts.
I mean, and he's also been in prison too. As of right now, quick overview what to expect from day 3.
Good morning from a rainy New York City, where I'm headed in for day 3 of the Diddy trial. Cassie Ventura, Diddy's ex-girlfriend, has been on the stand for nearly a full day providing direct testimony, and we have not yet heard the story of an alleged rape which happened in 2018. In fact, going through the timeline here, assuming that Emily Johnson is conducting the direct, is doing this in chronological order, we seem to be about 2 years away from that, as she's now reviewing the incident from the Intercontinental Hotel, where there was that infamous attack that was caught on surveillance camera and shared with the world. So
that's not a crime. I mean, that is a crime, but
certainly expect that Cassie's going to be on the stand on direct for the rest of this morning, and perhaps even the entire day. Hopefully we'll get to cross. During lunch, I'll try to speculate about the perils of going on cross for you, and the difficult job that the defense will have to try and tear apart her story without making her look sympathetic, and at the same time...
Well, yeah, it's going to be hard when she's about to give birth on the stand. Right now, I mean, maybe they get him for a few of these charges, but unless I see more, I don't think we're getting anywhere near. I mean, he might get, then it's going to come down to what the judge actually wants a sentence, and I don't know. Things are looking pretty shaky. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and we'll talk to you. Oh, wait, I forgot. This happened outside the Diddy courtroom.
About that guy was sticking up for us.
Well, I guess I can't play it, but there's some crackhead here who's screaming stuff at the reporters. It's pretty funny. You can find that. I retweeted that video. It's pretty funny. Hope you enjoyed. We'll talk to you again real soon.